Let's get you on the right track. Yeah, we should want to, but some people don't. Some people are saved. My son doesn't do diddly for Jesus. Now, he might do something quietly that I don't know about.
Very sweet soul.
He is. He's a very quiet guy, but he doesn't go out and sit at the beach and have Jesus stickers all over his car like his dad. He's totally different than me, right? He's saved if he called on Jesus. And that's between him and the Lord. That's not, all I can do is hope and pray that my children are saved. They can tell me they are, but that's up to them. But just because they're not great evangelists or great singers in a church or whatever, you know, I believe in eternal salvation, and I believe that you were marked with the Holy Spirit the moment that you were sealed, the moment you believe, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, okay, yes.
Ephesians 4, when it says one Lord, one faith, one baptism.
Yes.
Is that the baptism of the Holy Spirit?
That's the baptism of the Holy Spirit. Anything else would be, and that's why my mom she quoted that to me when I was in Israel. She didn't want to get baptized in the Jordan River. Well, I believe in one baptism. And I said, well, you know, at the time I didn't have an answer for that. It was only 2003. I'd only been a believer for a short while. It has to be the baptism of the Holy Spirit he's talking about. I've been baptized, 4 times now? Over at Temple Baptist Church.
And I did eventually get
yes, you did. Yeah, in the Jordan River,
River.
you know, whatever. I think maybe 2 times, 3 times, whatever. Love you. Have a great day. Yeah, no, I was baptized when I was in the Episcopal Church. Oh, I washed that off. Oh, I got that washed off. And then I was baptized my real baptism was in the Jordan River. And then I was at Temple Baptist Church, and my children wanted to get baptized. And the guy says, why don't you all get baptized together? I'm like, I've already done it. He said, so what? You know, hop in. So, okay. But, you know, it's just an outward sign of what's happened internally. That's all it is. So, and you know what? If they never get baptized, it's...
I'm glad you said that, Charlie, because you know what? When I was immersed, when Jim and I did this together at the church over there, I didn't feel like, I thought, well...
Why am I doing this?
Well, I'm like, everybody's cheering and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, yay. And I'm like, I don't feel any different.
No, you know, and you're not. It's just, as he said, it's not the washing off of filth.
Right.
It's a good conscience toward God. And how do you get that? Through Jesus.
But,
Okay.
like, for me, because I accepted the Lord when I was 5 and I got baptized, and so when I see a baptism, it's like a reminder to me.
Yes, and that's a nice thing about it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, submersion baptism has been practiced since the very beginning. Okay? So there is something to be said with doing it. And the Bible, every time somebody believes, every time they are baptized. So it is something we should do. It doesn't mean, though, that it's something we have to do. Okay? It's just something we should do. Let them be baptized. Can anybody prevent them from being baptized? I command that they be baptized. Okay? But those are descriptive again. They're not prescriptive. But it is something we should do. But I don't think that it should be something a church says, if you haven't done it, you can't be a member.
I think the thing I'll remember the most over all this that you've said is the man that was on the cross.
That's
Jesus.
right.
And that is like,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. Never had. And if somebody, you know...
And it's not anything that we can do to get salvation.
That's right. It's a work. You're already saved. And so if you're saying it's dependent on that, then you weren't saved when you were saved. So free will. That all of this comes back to free will. And I'm sorry to have diverted almost 40 minutes on that. But it is interesting, and it pertains to the account of the flood. Peter hearkened back to it, so we need to evaluate it. Now, I think we were in 24. No, we read 24. And the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. So 40 days of rain, waters prevailed for 150 days. Oh, and we're in chapter 8. Look at that. Look at that. Man, we went from 7:7 up to chapter 8. Go ahead, somebody start reading chapter 8.
But God remembered Noah.
Isn't that the nicest thought? I mean, in the whole account right there, then God remembered Noah. He never...
all the while then.
And yeah,
All the rain, all the flood, all the activity, the turmoil, you think Noah's probably saying, okay, where are you, God?
but God remembered Noah.
Now what happens?
Charlie,
What's that?
don't some people believe that God was actually in the ark?
You know, I think I have heard that before. But you know what? Technically, he was, because Acts 17:28. In him we live and move and have our being. So God is omnipresent. He is there with us. But was Jehovah, the incarnation of Jesus in there? It doesn't say that. It says he shut the door. So either he climbed in and shut the door with them, or he shut it from the outside. But it doesn't specifically say that, right?
Well, is that because of the Ark of the Covenant is where the Lord dwells?
Where the Lord dwells, that's right.
And so
But it's only a picture of the Lord, okay?
Right.
All of those things were pictures, according to Hebrews, of the greater things in heaven. Okay, so anyway, but we can go through the symbolism. Hopefully we'll get to Leviticus at least. Oh, the symbolism of Leviticus. People think it's such a dry book, and it is. I was asked, they said in college you can pick any Old Testament book and do a book study on it for your New Testament survey. And I suppose most people pick Jonah or something, or Obadiah, 1 page or 2 pages. I said, man, I'm doing Leviticus. And my teacher was ecstatic. He was like, nobody picks Leviticus. It is the best, it is the richest book. I'm telling you, it's different than Genesis, so it has a different richness, but wow, is there a lot in the book of Leviticus. Oh, okay, go ahead. Start again with 8:1.
But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and the livestock that were with him in the ark, and he sent the wind over the earth, and the waters receded.
Okay, this is my opinion on that particular verse. We have the earth, and at both poles are what? What is it, both poles of our earth right now? North Pole and South Pole, what is there?
Ice.
Ice, okay? If you take and have a high wind on, and it probably wasn't real salty water, but what's it going to do? It's like a refrigerator. He has this wind blowing on the waters, and it's like a refrigerator. Okay, right? And plus the sun isn't up in those parts of the earth as it's spinning. So this water is, what is refrigeration? It's ammonia, and it's a heat pump, and it pumps one way, it makes heat, the other way, it makes cold, right? It's just the expansion and, of ammonia. Anyway, and that's how a refrigerator works. I could show you, but I'd have it technically wrong. But this wind would force the waters to freeze at the poles. I believe that. I've never heard anybody come up with that conclusion, but, and that's why we have these massive things of water that are very, very deep, right? Had to go somewhere. The Lord is working to get the world into a livable condition. World is spinning. Yeah, that's right. So anyway, that's what I believe produced and I don't know if that's correct or not. A scientist would have to tell me I'm stupid about that, but that's what I think when I read that verse, because it says, and the water subsided. The wind to pass over the earth, and the water subsided. Well, if the water's covered the entire earth, it can blow all day long and not get any shallower, right? Something has to happen. The wind blows, it causes the water to, up in the atmosphere, and then it distills into rain or whatever, but in the colder area, it's going to start doing it. You get enough wind, and it does it, there's probably not a lot of salt in the water because it's a lot of water mixed with salt. Suppose it's 8% now in the oceans, maybe it was 2%, or I don't know. But anyway, that's how I see that. And I'd have to check with an expert, but that's how I think that happened, because the water subsided. They had to subside somewhere. There you go. And, okay, then verse 2, go ahead.
Now the springs of the deep and the floodgates of the heavens had been closed, and the rain stopped falling from the sky.
Okay, well, the heavens, stopped, what do you call it? The Rakia had finally dissipated completely. I don't know how thick it was, but it was the waters above. It was probably crystalline. It had finally stopped raining that down. The waters of the flood, there was all this pressure inside of the earth pushing out. And like I said, this was all done before God created the earth. He knew that this would happen at a certain point. He didn't cause it to happen except from his own mind before he ever created anything. And as I said, that tsunami that happened 3 weeks ago was ordained before he created the world. He created the world in such a way that everything that happens is going to happen exactly as it should happen. Okay, because there's no change in God. He doesn't actively get in and do these things. It's a reaction to something that he knew would have happened. When Israel was exiled, and all of these things happened. The army came against him. He knew everything that ever would happen before it happened, in other words. Okay, I could be completely wrong on that and be misanalyzing the nature of God. But he created everything, and all of these things are happening at preordained times based on the plan of redemption for mankind. I just believe that. Okay, so the fountains of the deep were stopped up. Go ahead, verse 3.
The water receded steadily from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the water had gone down, and on the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat.
Okay, now I have this in the Bible out there. I wish I brought it in today, but if you take, this is the 17th day of the 7th month, so you only count 6 months. 6 times 30 is 180, plus 17 would be 197, and then it started on the 150 days. Where is it? 24th day of the first month, or what is it?
No, 824, it flooded for 150, is that what you're talking about?
No. Before that, in 600 year. Oh, in the 2nd month of the 17th day of the month. So you don't count the first month. You only count the 17th day of the first month. So you subtract that from 197. You're going to come out to 180 days. That until do you see how I'm showing you how you do a calculation? That's all. I'm not trying to. This is how you would do it. You take the 6 months. Okay. It says the 17th day of the 7th month. Well, only 6 months have happened. So you multiply 6 times 30, you get 180. Plus the 17th day of the 7th month. You don't count the whole month. You come out to 197, right? And then from there, it started way back in here, wherever I said it was verse, the 600 year of Noah on the 17th day of the month, in the 2nd month. Oh, so I'm sorry, it would be 7th month. So it's 2nd month. So you count the first month, 30, okay, and then 17 days of the 2nd month comes out to 47. So you take 47 from here. That would be 47 would be 150 days, whatever. Anyway, that's how you do calculations. I'm just trying to show you how you do these things.
And I believe you, Charles.
Yeah, well, don't believe that. I'm just trying to show you how you would do a calculation. You take a 30-day month. Don't count the month that you're in, though, okay? And it could have been, anyway, I may have missed something, but that's how you would do it. And I've got it all out there in my Bible, which, stupid, I looked at it and I said, I don't need that today. Anyway, okay, so the ark rested in the 17th month, in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month. I can't even speak. On the mountains of Ararat. It does not say on Mount Ararat. It says in the mountains of Ararat, the geographical area of Ararat, okay? So whether it's on Mount Ararat or not, I have no idea. It's
mountains of Ararat.
Right. It's in the area of Ararat. Was it on Mount Ararat or was
Mount Ararat is in that?
in Turkey?
Well,
Right.
I've seen the book they put out.
Right.
Through the Bible, we have that.
Yes. So it's right in that area. And does that mean the mountain of Ararat, one of the peaks of it? I don't know. It just says the mountains of Ararat. Okay. So, and other than that, it doesn't say specifically Mount Ararat. And like I said, if it's trying to say that the mountains of Ararat are like, this is one mountain and these are the mountains of Ararat, then it's on Mount Ararat. If it means that there are other mountains in an area called Ararat, then it could be on this mountain here. That's all I'm trying to say with that, is that that's what it says, okay? So anyway, go ahead, somebody, 5.
The waters continued to recede until the 10th month, and on the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible.
Okay, so it obviously got lodged on this mountain while it was still in the water. It was like the guys that get stuck on the sandbar out front of my house all the time. They don't see it and they hear the thing go, and oh gosh. Anyway, it happens all the time. But so they got lodged and then the tops of the mountains were seen. And once again, you can go the 10th month. In the 10th month, if it did not say on the first day, okay, if it just simply said in the 10th month, you would still use the first day. Anytime a date is not given in a month in the Bible, you revert to the first day of the month, always. That is always the way you do it. In this case, it says on the first day of the 10th month, so you know to use it anyway. But if it doesn't say that, you always revert to the first day of the month for your calculations, okay? That's standard biblical dating. That's how you do it, okay? Where were we? Go ahead and read it then.
After 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven, and it kept flying back and forth until the water had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove to see if the water had receded from the surface of the ground.
Okay, so the raven went out. Now, where is another time that ravens are mentioned? Just real
Feeding
quickly.
Elijah.
What's that? Feeding Elijah. Anybody else? Abraham chasing the ravens away as they came to the sacrifice. Where is it? Real quickly, I think it's probably Genesis 18, but it might not be. Let's see here.